Yeah, dear participants, very good afternoon. So this will be the last session in this, and I would now like to ask Supreet sir. Supreet sir, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm
Yes,
online.
sir. Good afternoon, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, do we start or do we wait for a couple of minutes?
I'm fine with anything. If you want, I can start or wait. It's left to.
Okay, sir. If you're comfortable, then we will start.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the last session. So we'll be completing the project from scratch here. There's a lot of code involved here, and I've already given you the link. Hope everyone have downloaded the complete zip folder and extracted that and kept it ready. Main reason is if we have to type every single thing, it would probably take 5 to 8 hours. That would be the duration of the entire project. But we'll be explaining the complete project, and then I'll take you through this process. So let us quickly start. So I would like to ask all the participants to keep the extracted folder ready on their desktop. Along with that, you have to create a new folder as well. That is where our entire project is going to be placed. Can someone please confirm? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank
Yes, sir.
you. Okay, so we had stopped in this particular process where I had asked everyone to download the set of code which is related to this particular project from Google Drive. So I hope everyone have downloaded that, and please keep it ready in the below format. So I'll show you how you need to keep it. So as you can see on the right side, on one end, keep the folder which you have downloaded. So this is the folder which we have downloaded and have extracted. So you can find all these packages, modules, and JSON files available in the downloaded folder. Now you just need to minimize it. Now comes in another folder. This is where we'll be creating thing. I just don't want to tell you that you just need to run some code and run some lines of code on command line and everything would be ready. I don't want you all to do that. I want you to be involved in the complete installation process. That code which I've given you is just for reference, right? Reference, and you can use it instead of thinking. But make sure that you understand the complete working of the project. So now we'll be moving on to the first primary step. Create an empty folder on the desktop, right? Name it as to-do list. Everyone, please be quick. We won't be able to wait for long. Create an empty folder by name to-do list. It should be an empty folder. So nothing should be visible here. It's just an empty folder that you have to create. Okay, I hope everyone have created an empty folder by name to-do list on the desktop. This is the empty folder. So now we need to navigate to the empty folder wherever we have created, you know. Okay, so keep that ready. Now, in the previous session, we installed something called as Truffle. So we need to check the version of Truffle once. Okay. So just to show you all, the folder is empty. The folder by name to-do list, it's completely empty. It's on the desktop. Now let us just check the Truffle version. As you can see, the Truffle version is displayed here. It says Truffle version is 5.0.2. Solidity has also been installed, 0.5.0. Then Node has also been installed, version 14.15.4. So this states that everything is perfect and the platform is ready to start our process. Now we have to execute a command called as truffle.init. It's truffle space. Let me open my Visual Studio so that you can all see it. So just like before, we have to connect our Visual Studio Code to the empty folder that we have. It's pretty simple. Yeah, now we have connected to the empty folder and it is ready. So whatever changes that we make here will be reflected in that particular empty folder. Okay, so truffle init should be executed. So when you type in truffle init in the command prompt, certain files will be downloaded. Okay, so which are those 3 files? Now you can just minimize the command prompt, go to this particular folder called as to-do list. As you can see, there are around 3 folders by name contracts, migrations, test, and truffle config. These have been automatically downloaded once you run truffle init. So everyone, please make a note of all the commands that you have to run. First thing that we did was the truffle version. Then we did some initialization, that is truffle space init. So as soon as you run truffle space init, certain those and certain files will be downloaded, which is required to run the truffle platform. Okay, so let us move the next process. Okay, now we need to go to Visual Studio Code and create a new file called as package.json. Okay, so let us do it. So as you see, new folders and one file has already been created as soon as you run truffle.init. Okay, so here we'll create a new file called as package.json. Okay, so now we'll be putting in certain required libraries, built-in packages, and so on in this folder called as package.json. So I don't want to use a lot of time in this particular thing. So what we'll do is we'll quickly open up the documents that I have shared. In that particular document, open package.json. So copy the entire code and just paste it here. That's it. I'll explain whatever is happening there, because if you have to type it, it's going to take really long. Copy, paste. Okay. So I'll repeat the steps again. So create a new file called as package.json. Okay. So inside that particular file, you have to paste certain line of code. So this particular line of code is available in the document that I have shared. Okay, so just go to the document that I have shared, open package.json there, open it using your Notepad++ or any other editors, or even open one more Visual Studio editor. You can open multiple editors at the same time, multiple versions of the same editor at the same time. So copy, paste. Okay, I'll just give a couple of seconds. So please follow me with me. Create a new file called as package.json in the current to-do list folder. Desktop. So paste the content. All this content will be on the folder which you have downloaded. In that folder, there will be a file called as package.json again. Just open that, all the code, and paste it in this particular project. Please don't get confused between two projects. Okay, so there also you'll have the same names for all the files and folders. So don't get confused. Okay, now let me just tell you what exactly we are trying to do in package.json. So the first thing is initialization. So here, this entire package is getting connected to our truffle.configuration folder. So there's another folder called as truffle.config. This was automatically created when we ran truffle initialization, that is truffle space init. So when we ran that command, this particular folder was created by default. Okay, so this entire code has been created by default. Now in package.json, we are connecting this particular file to truffle.config. As you can see here, this is the connection that we are doing. Okay. Now next, we are downloading certain packages. Okay. So all these packages can be downloaded individually, or you can download through a main package called JSON. So what happens is when you run this package.json, all these dependencies get downloaded automatically. We need not download them individually. For example, Bootstrap, we'll be using Bootstrap to work on the design end of our web end. We are going to have a small website kind of a thing where we are going to hold a complete planner, a blockchain based to-do list. So that will be designed using Bootstrap, and we have certain more dependencies. For example, Chai and Light server. So we need to create a server. So for our Truffle to work on. So we'll be using a package called as Light server and so on. So these are all the built-in packages. Okay, so we can either install them one by one, or we can install them together using package.json. So all the dependencies that you put in this particular file will get automatically downloaded. Now let us just save it. Control S. Control S is the option to save. Okay, so now let us go on to the next process. Let us just install it. Okay, so how to install this complete package? Make sure that you are in this particular directory itself. It's npm install. Okay, so you need to click npm install. So what happens is we are downloading multiple libraries from multiple sources. Now, the major problem that would come here is we are going to depend on some libraries or certain code which are hosted on GitHub and which are hosted in some other servers and so on. What's going to happen is sometimes when we are running the project, our entire project will be cloned to that particular code. And if someone changes that code in the server, or someone changes that code in Git, our entire modules won't get downloaded. Now, that is one of the problems which we encountered. So while we had designed this entire project, the modules were working absolutely fine. There weren't any problems. They were getting downloaded easily. But now what happened is suddenly, the owners or the proprietors who own the code on probably GitHub or any other servers, they have changed or probably they have deleted that. So we won't be able to download certain packages from there. Okay. So in order to overcome this, what we have done is I have already given all the libraries to you. So what you need to do is, again, you can just ignore this particular process. If you do it, it's not a problem. Just I want everyone to understand the process of installing multiple libraries from a single JSON folder. It's npm install. Now, there are certain errors and certain files haven't been downloaded because their source locations have been tampered. Okay, someone have changed their source locations, or the owners they themselves have modified or taken them down. So we are not able to download. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be downloading every module manually. Okay. So I'm going to teach you the process to download every module manually. So now I told you that we'll be using, what we call as Bootstrap. So it's just npm install Bootstrap. So this is the command to be given there. So now npm has successfully been installed and Bootstrap has successfully been given there. Now let me move on to the next library that is required. Npm install. So the other package that we need here is Chai, CHAI. So let us download it. So I'm actually showing you both the processes, how to download everything, at a single stretch, or how to download modules individually. Okay, so we got two more modules. So one more is Light Server. So we'll be using one more module called as Light Server. Yes, installed successfully. Everyone, please be with me. Install all the libraries. Okay, so we have installed Bootstrap, Chai, Light Server, and next Truffle has already been installed. Truffle contract. Let us install this one as well. So I here I mentioned the version number as well. Sometimes it's not, if it's not getting installed, please try it again without the version number. So it's partially been installed. So we do have certain errors. So you might all get errors, so don't worry. So we have a solution for this. This is all happening because the original files, if they are missing or if there is some changes, because majorly we'll all be on GitHub. So where we are going to clone all the code. Most of the times there would be changes there, and our programs won't be working. But please remember, this is a process. If you want to download everything together, see how many times I had to install everything. Instead of this, I can put everything in a single JSON file called as package.json, and I can just install that. That will also do good. Okay. So now please go to the folder that you had created on the desktop. Okay. So open for the subfolder called as node modules. Can you see a lot of folders which is present now? These are all folders which were downloaded now. Okay, so these are all the different folders that were downloaded in the installation process. Approximately for our project, we needed around 390 items, so 390 folders. But there are certain issues there, while downloading it from servers. So only 172 items have been downloaded. So what we'll do is, this is a easier task that I would like to suggest. Open the folder which you have all downloaded. The folder which you downloaded from Google Drive. Okay, so it will look just like this with some more additionals. Go to node modules and just check out on the left hand side bottom. You can find around 389 or 390 items. Okay, just copy all those items and replace here, because some items are missing. We don't want it to cause any major problems. So what we'll do is we'll empty this out. So can everyone see there are around 389 items, the folder which I gave. You can simply select everything, Control A, Control C, then paste it in our folder. Okay, now we have all the 389 items here. So everything is set in place. Now let us move on to the next process. Okay. So now we need to navigate to our Visual Code Editor. So here we have to create a smart contract. Okay, so we'll be using Visual Studio to navigate to contracts. So on the left hand side, as you can see, there is contracts, migrations, node modules, and test. Okay, so I think you won't be having test there. Okay, so you'll be having contracts, migrations, node modules. So we had around 300 modules here. We just saw that. The same will be visible here as well. So I hope everyone are clear up to this particular phase. So go to contracts. Okay. Now there is something called as migration. So we will create one more file here by the name to-do list.sol. Okay. Capital T, small d, capital L. To-do list.sol. So this is the new file that we have created. Okay. Now we have to put in certain code in this particular Solidity file. So again, I have already given the code, so no need to type anything. I've made your task easy. Navigate to the folder which I gave. Go to contracts, to-do list.sol. Okay, just open that, copy paste the code. Okay, just open this in your Notepad++ or Visual Studio. Copy the entire code, then come back to the place where you are typing, where you're creating this project. This is empty. Paste it. Okay, so I'll be explaining everything one by one. This is all Solidity code. I guess you would have already worked with Solidity in the first few sessions while creating a smart contract. So this is the same process. So as you can see, we are creating multiple tasks. Since it's a to-do list, this project has something to do with a daily planner. So these are all the tasks that we'll be creating. So task created, task completed. So basically what we are trying to do is it's a blockchain based planner where you can create tasks and where you can mark them completed. So every participant in the entire blockchain will get to know whatever tasks are being created, whatever tasks that have been completed, and so on. So these are the small code snippets. It's all again object-oriented programming concept. You're creating constructors to initialize the variables. Uh, these are all the standard and simple things. So what you're trying to do is we are trying to create a task. Just this might be confusing right now, but at the end you'll get clarity. So I'm just explaining the code in brief here. So we'll be creating multiple tasks, and there'll be a task counter. So it should get incremented every time we create a new task, and as soon as we complete them, that should also get marked. So there's going to be a Boolean, true or false. If the task is completed, it will be marked true. If the task is not completed, it will be false. So these are the other things that have to be kept in mind. So when this complete to-do list Solidity code has been completed, just save it. And this is a structure basically. You can create as many types as you want using this template. So structure can be used as a template. So every task will have a unique ID. Every task will have a content. What is the name of the task, or what is the job, or anything can be typed there. Bool completed. So this is what I was telling. So Boolean type expression. So this can be marked true or false, right? If it is true, it will be completed true. If not, it will state completed false. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. Please copy and paste in the folder in which we are doing. Okay. So you need to go to contracts, create a new file called as to-do list. It will be empty. Go to the folder which I have given before. So I have put up all the code there. Just copy and paste it to to-do list.solidity type. Yeah, after saving the Solidity file, okay, just come to the command prompt So once you come to the command prompt, you need to compile. So whenever you do some modifications to any of the main folders, that is contracts, migrations, or any of the folders which were present on the left-hand side, you have to compile, right? So now after we made a modification, that is we added a new Solidity file there. So we have to compile it. So in order to compile it, you have to use the following keywords: truffle, compile. See, it has been successfully compiled. Writing artifacts to contracts, compiling to-do list.sol, compiling migrations.sol. So these are the two important files here. They are Solidity based files basically to create contracts. Now, what are artifacts? Artifacts are important set of information, okay, which is being built into contracts. Now, you can check if it is been successful or not. So how to check if it is successful or not? Go to the folder. Go to the folder in which you are working, not the folder which I gave. Now there would be a new folder created called as build. This build folder was not existing before, right? So in the contracts folder, we added a new Solidity file, then we compiled. So as soon as we compile, there's one more folder called as build. Okay, click on build, click on contracts. See, there are two JSON folders now. Okay, migrations.json and to-do list.json. So what is the main benefit of this? I told you JSON format is JavaScript object notation format. It is easily readable. So once you compile any of the Solidity files, it will get converted into JSON format files. Okay, so now we have both the JSON format files also ready in a separate folder called as build. Let me remind you, I have not created this particular folder. It has been automatically created as soon as I compiled the new Solidity files. Okay. So next, let us go back to the studio, Code Studio. Now there is one more important file called as truffle configuration file. As you can see here, much of it is just comments. Okay, so we have to put some code in the configuration file. So this is a very important file here, truffle config file, because it gives us information about the servers. Okay, so we'll be creating servers here. So all the important information will be put up in the configuration file. Same process, delete whatever is there, Control A, delete. So it will be an empty new file. So go back to the folder which I had given. There'll be a file called as truffle config. Open that, copy paste the contents to our particular folder in which we are working right now. Okay, this is a small piece of code which has to be pasted in truffle configuration, truffle config.js. Okay, so mod.exports. So we want all of this to be exportable. If you remember, yesterday we did a small program to use one particular folder file contents in the file. So we use module.exports. So this is similar to that. So again, this is all in JSON format. Networks, develop host. So what exactly is this 127.0.0.1? It is the local server address. Remember Ganache? So in this Ganache, if you open Ganache, it will show you the local blockchain's address. So can you see here? This is the address in which our local blockchain is running. This is all a local blockchain event which is happening here. So we copy and paste it here. Okay. So this is the port number and network ID. You need not put in network ID. I'll tell you why. So this is the network ID. You can type in 5777. That is totally fine. But what's going to happen if I just close Ganesh and open it again? It remains same, but sometimes this network ID would be changing. Okay, so that's the reason we put a star. It will take in any network ID. So even if it changes, it's not going to be a problem. It will automatically detect whatever network ID is there. Okay, so we need not make any changes here. So it is star, and this is the host. So this is where our entire blockchain, local blockchain network has been hosted on our system. So we are connecting this entire set of packages to our blockchain. Okay, so this is the most important part in Truffle configuration file. Remember to save it. Without saving, none of the changes would get reflected. Okay, so I'll just wait for 2 minutes. Everyone, please complete the same. Okay, I hope everyone have completed. Now let us move on to the next folder called as migrations. Okay, if you click on migrations, which is present on the left, you can find a JSON JavaScript already present there. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to create one more file. So click on this plus new folder. Be very careful. You have to create a new file within this migration folder. Okay. So first, what you need to do is click on migrations. So how do you know whether you have selected migrations or not? Whenever you click on migrations, you can find this one_initial_migration.js. If you can find this file, then it means that you're already in this new file. Now the name would be to_deploy_contracts JS. Professors, please make sure that you put in the same name. The name of the new file would be to_deploy_contracts.js. Why one, why two? Because whenever there are certain migrations happening, this is the sequence in which all these JavaScript files get executed. So one_initial_migration would already be present in the migrations folder. Now you have to create another file by name to_deploy contracts. Okay, same process. The code is already ready. Go to the folder in which I have given. So there, migrations. You can find this deploy contract folder there. Open that. Same process. Copy paste the code. Okay, so I hope everyone have completed. It is just like the previous folder, as you can see, previous file. Both the codes are very same. You can see constant migrations is equal to artifacts.require migrations module.exports. So it's a deployer function. Nothing to worry much about these sub functions. So in this, it is a to-do list. So this is the Solidity file we just created, if you remember. So we went to contracts. We created something called as a to-do list, right? So now we are connecting the same to-do list in this migrations folder as well. So we are basically linking the information. So artifacts, nothing but pieces of important information. So we are linking our to-do list Solidity program. And we need to deploy this particular program into our blockchain network, right? So that's the reason we are using this function as well. So whenever you copy paste or do any changes, make sure you save it. Okay, you're using Control S. If you have done this, open your command, type in truffle migrate. Okay, let me just explain again. So whenever you make any changes, these are very important folders. That is contracts. So we added a new contract. It's a Solidity file. We had to compile it, remember. Now in migrations, we added a new JavaScript file. So even now we have to migrate. So whenever we add a new file in migrations folder, we have to migrate it. How? Truffle migrate. So now we have added new code, that is to_deploy_contracts.js. Now we have to migrate it. So how do we migrate it? Control say, go to command prompt and type in truffle migrate. Okay. So this is the code that you need to type. So as soon as you type in truffle_migrate, there will be certain important changes. So how do you get to know about those changes? One thing is, look at the starting migrations. There is something called as block gas limits. So there's some number, network ID has been displayed there. So this is one part. Okay. So other part is, the transaction hash would be listed out here. So these are the other things. Now, how do you ensure that migrations have properly happened? To make any changes in our blockchain or in our Ethereum network, as I told you, there will be something called as gas, okay, GAS. So this gas is a small amount of ether that will be used up. So whenever we are migrating, whenever we are transferring, okay, ethers from one account to another account, whatever functions that we do, there'll be some amount of gas that will be required. So what is this gas? Basically, I told you, it is used by all these miners to make sure and validate the transactions. Okay, so to make sure that the transactions are correct and to monitor them. So anyone can become miners. So if we become miners, we'll also be getting paid. So how will we get paid? So in every transaction, there'll be a certain amount. So to give you a similar example, consider banks. Okay, so whenever we do some online banking, so a small amount, 1 rupee or 3 rupees would be deducted for NEFT or IMPS basically transactions. The small amount would be deducted, right? In a similar way, this is the gas amount that is being deducted whenever we do any transactions. Okay. Now open your Ginash portal. So whenever you click on Ganache portal, I've opened it. As you can see, my balance has reduced. The balance of the first account has been reduced here, right? So yeah, so this states that migrations has successfully completed. Okay, so now let us go back. So I hope everyone have completed till here. It is pretty much simple. I have given all the code. There is nothing. Truffle migrate. Please execute this. Okay, so now let us go to something called as Truffle console. Okay, just type in Truffle console. So there's something called as Truffle development. Okay, so we'll be putting in a few statements here, and we'll check if everything has been installed properly. We are using the keyword await because to make it asynchronous. If we don't put in await, it will become synchronous. It will start waiting till the previous commands have been executed. Everything has been successfully deployed onto the blockchain. So what I did here, I'll just show you some of the things, okay, you can ignore that. There's a lot of other things which are present here. Don't get confused. All you need to do is go to Truffle console, TRUFFLE space CONSOLE. So once you go to Truffle console, you will go to the development mode. So in this development mode, you need to type in to-do list is equal to await space capital T. So this is the Solidity file that we developed here. Please don't get confused between this is a variable name, small TODOLIST. So this is the name of the variable, and the capital why we have used it is if you've seen contracts, it's capital TODO capital LIST. So we are using it here. So await to-do list dot deployed. Okay, as soon as you type this, nothing will happen. Again, you need to enter the variable name, just like how you do in Python. Enter the variable name, it will print the value. If you type in to-do list, all the functions will be displayed here. This states that everything has been deployed properly onto the blockchain. So don't worry much about all these code. It's not so important. We just want to make sure that everything has been installed properly. Okay. We'll execute a few more functions and just check. So to count the number of tasks, we are creating a to-do list, right? It's a planner. So we want to count how many tasks have been created and so on. So let's run one more function and check. So as you can see, you get this output. BN stands for big number. Currently, there are no tasks that we have created. Okay, so that is the reason you won't be able to see anything. Now again, we'll type in task count is equal to await Okay, these are not a part of a project or anything. It's just to make sure that everything has been downloaded properly. So this has nothing to do with the code. So don't worry much. So whatever we'll be typing in or typing in here. So these are the main parts of our entire project. Okay. So we'll just minimize this and go to the next phase. Let us type in one more set of line code. Task is equal to await to dot task of 1. Okay. Okay. So by default, we have created one task in our to-do list. So it says that the name is, this is my first task. Deploy now. These are the commands. Task is equal to await space to-do list dot tasks of 1. So this is the first task. Okay. So if you type in tasks of 2, there won't be anything. Okay. See, it says false. So when I click task of 2, it says false. There are no tasks which is present. By default, we have created our first task, okay? And we have named it as, this is my first task. That is the reason when we click on tasks of 1, this one task will be displayed. That is only one node will be present in our entire blockchain. There's only a single node present. Later on, as in when we create new tasks, new blocks So I hope everyone have completed till this phase. Okay. So now what we have done is our entire task creation has been deployed onto a blockchain. There is only one node that is present. That is only one block which is present right now. So onto that block, we have named it as this is the first task. Okay, so this is all done in our code. If you go and look at all the code in depth, you will find that we have created a default block and it is named as this is my first task. Okay, so in this to-do list, what we'll be doing is there'll be multiple tasks that can be created and that can be completed. So whenever we create a new task, a new block would be added to our complete blockchain. So this is the whole concept. Okay, so let us move forward. Okay, so in continuation of the previous line of code, I just typed in task.content. So whatever content that we have put up in the first task, that will be displayed. See, this is my first. This will be displayed in the entire. Now assume that in the entire blockchain there is only one block, that is the Genesis block. Okay, so the Genesis block task is mentioned as this is my first task, and these are all the details. So this
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I think you haven't shared that screen.
Okay. Just give me a second. Thanks. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I haven't done much. Ma'am, this is actually the command prompt.
Okay.
I won't be able to zoom in. That's why I'm dictating.
Okay,
so,
fine.
Yeah. Okay. So till here we had completed before. I haven't done any changes. So I just put in one more line of code, that is task.content. So whatever content is there in that particular task, only that will be displayed. Nothing else would be displayed. That's it. These are all not part of our project, but just to verify that everything has been deployed properly. Okay, we have to keep checking at every stage, because at the end, when we deploy everything and when things are at the finalization stage, and that time if there are any errors, we won't be able to backtrack them. That's the reason at every stage we have to keep checking if things are working fine. Okay, so far everything is working fine and we are getting all the responses properly. Okay, now to come out of this development, you need to press Control C. Okay, you'll be in development mode. You have to press Control C twice. So you'll come to the normal executable command line. Okay. Now it is time to add the web side of this particular project. Okay, so I told you there'll be a HTML file. So there'll be a HTML file in order to upload all the tasks. We're not putting any tasks on the command prompt, so we have to develop some small HTML code snippets. Okay, now go back to our main folder, the folder in which we are doing the project, not the folder in which I gave. So this is the primary project folder which we are working in. Okay, create a new folder called as SRC, source folder. SRC stands for source. Okay, just create that and it will automatically get reflected here. As you can see, the folder got reflected here. Okay, now here we need to create two files. Okay, I'll tell you which are those files. So I hope I have created a source folder. You need to create two files. Okay, the name of those files are as follows. I hope everyone are with me. So one is index.html. So this is the first file. Make sure that you are creating these files within the source folder. Okay, please don't create them outside, then it won't work again. Again, click on source. new file. It's app.js. It's JavaScript file again. Okay, so we have created two files. One is app.js and one is index.html. So these two are created right now. And again, same process. I have already given the code. Let us copy paste the code. Here it will be a bit complex. Not to worry, because it will involve HTML code, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript code. Everything will be clubbed together. Please don't worry much about that. So same process. Now let us first fill in the HTML index.html code. Go to the folder which I gave. So this is the folder that I gave. If you double click, it will directly go to the website. So you should not double click this. See, because you are already seeing Google Chrome symbol. You should not double click. Right click, open with some text editor or Notepad++ or anything. You will find the code, copy paste the code. Okay. So this is how it is going to look. So this is a HTML code. Okay. I'll wait for a couple of minutes. Please copy and paste it in index.html. So this is the front end. I told you, right? This is where you'll be shortly seeing the front end. It's basically like a website. Okay. So these are all again basics of HTML. So let me not go in depth. So HTML, lang, English. So EN stands for English. Then char set is equal to UTF-8. We can use other languages, other symbols as well using UTF-8. So this is setting the device width and all. This is not much required here. This is all just for the looks of the website. Then again, Bootstrap. We are using Bootstrap for the templates. So it's basically for the design. Nothing much. And this is all style again. Styling, margin, how much pixels it has to be present, width. These are all, the basic things. Okay, so there's something called as completed task list.content. So what we have done is, as soon as we complete a task and we mark it as completed, it will turn into dark gray. So it's an indication that this particular task has been completed. So we are going to change the color of that. Okay. Then there's going to be a through effect. So once a task is completed, we just strike it off, like how we do, in a pen or pencil. So when we complete certain tasks, in a diary, we just scratch it off, right? So in a similar effect, we are giving it here as well. Again, these are all the front end part, nothing related to this particular project as such. It's all about alignment. Where do you want to align stuff and everything. Okay. So there's something called as app.createTask. Okay, so there is an app.js file here as well. We have not come to that yet. So we are still in index.html file. So this should be connected to the JavaScript file, right? So we are going to create a small form. I'll be showing it to you in a short while how that looks. So we'll be creating a short form. So whenever you click on submit, so it will come to app.js. Right now it is empty. We'll be filling the code there as well. We'll go to app.js, and there all these tasks will be created, which will again be linked to our Ganache, that is our local blockchain. Okay, so that's going to be interesting in a short while. And once you complete certain tasks, there's going to be a checkbox. If you mark that checkbox, it will consider as the task is completed. So we are giving a checkbox as well. So these are different form elements in HTML, checkbox, radio buttons, and so on. This is nothing. There's nothing to do. It's all related to your Bootstrap, that is styling. So we are using jQuery to connect it to certain libraries online, like Google APIs and so on. So this has nothing to do with the project, but don't delete it. Keep it there. It is for the looks of the website. Now, once it is done, just save it. It is pretty simple. Nothing else has to be done here. No changes at all. So I have explained all the important points in the HTML file. And why is it index.html? I could have named it anything, right? Why exactly index.html? So there's a particular reason. So even while hosting websites, let me take example, your college websites. Okay, so the first screen that pops up, okay, that would be the index.html or index.php. So whatever you name it as index, and when you upload into our servers, that will be the first page that is going to pop up. Okay, so in your college, if we type, for example, BNM IT, the first screen that comes in, that is the index.html. Now there's only a single page which is present in our project. So we'll name it as index.html. We want this particular page to load whenever we turn on the server. Okay, this is how it's going to work. Control S, we are going to save it. Now let us move on to app.js. Just a similar way. Okay, copy paste the entire content in app.js from the folder that I gave, paste it here. That is a bit creative. I'll explain. I'll take some time and explain certain code which is present. A lot of code is involved in app.js. I'll just wait for 2 minutes. Everyone, please complete it. Okay. Just quickly explain some of the important pieces of code which is present here again. So in index.html, whenever we click on submit, as I told you, we'll be typing certain tasks there and we'll be submitting it in it's a form, basically form type. So let me just navigate there. Yeah. So whenever I click on submit dot create task, okay. So this is where the JavaScript file comes into play. So whenever you send any information or whenever you're submitting any information, all that information will be handled by the JavaScript, because HTML is only for the front end. It is only for the looks of the website. It won't have any functionality as such. This was the first thing that I explained yesterday in the first session. So JavaScript is used to have interactions, right? So whenever we create a new task, so it's an asynchronized method, as you can see here. It's not a synchronized way, it's an asynchronized way. All these tasks will be connected to our contracts. So remember, we have contracts here. We have created 2 contracts, to-do list, migrations. It will get connected to this particular contract. It's load contract, as you can see here. contacts will be created here. We have to create accounts. I'll show you how to create an account, and we have to load Web3.js. This is a major factor. Web3.js is used to find data from any request which is present on the browser, and to fetch in data from basically the local blockchain network. That is the Ganache network. Okay, so this is the important part. So we are loading everything here. These are all the connections that we need to establish. So it's all related to Web3.js again. As you can see, Web3.js plays a very important role in fetching all the information present on the blockchain, because in a blockchain, it will be distributed data. It's not a single data. So whatever tasks that we create, it will not get stored in a single database. It will get distributed in the entire blockchain. So every block will have the set of, every member of the block, every member of the blockchain will have the information on what are the tasks created and who has completed the tasks and so on. Okay. So these are all certain lines of code related to Web3. So you need not worry much. They're all pretty much the handling code. Nothing important which is present here. This handles the code, basically whatever we enter into the HTML. So this is a main file, JS file. This app.js file is an important file. This file fetches information from the HTML file, whatever we have entered. It then sends it to our blockchain. And once it is verified, it will get added to the complete blockchain. New blocks are created or new nodes are created. Okay. So that's it. Again, we are loading account, loading the contract in all asynchronized mechanism, right? So these are all the things. Everything is async here. It is not synchronous way, as I previously explained. So the complete blockchain concept has to work on asynchronous way. We should not wait for any other data coming. Every every time whenever we enter new data, it should get processed individually. It should not wait for other data to get processed. There should not be any queuing. Basically, it's parallel execution. That's why we are using async here. Okay, now that you have done, please click on Control S. You have to save this particular file, else it won't get loaded. Now let us go to MetaMask. Yesterday, if you remember, I had asked everyone to download something called as MetaMask. Okay, so MetaMask is used to connect the Ganache server. So the Ganache server is present on our local system, right? So now this has to be connected to our web, that is our HTML and app.js code. So this MetaMask is going to help link it. MetaMask is basically an extension which works on Google Chrome only. Okay, so everyone please open Google Chrome. Type in MetaMask. I think you would have already downloaded this. If you have not downloaded, please download it again. It's a crypto wallet and gateway to blockchain applications. It basically connects our front-end code to our back-end blockchain. Okay, so once you download, you will have to install it. So if you install, automatically it will be visible here. Okay, so it's this small fox icon. If you are not able to see that, you have to click on extensions. When you click on extensions, you'll find MetaMask. You can pin it into the taskbar. Okay, this is how it is going to look. Okay, so this is the MetaMask extension that will be helping us to connect Ganache, that is a local blockchain, to our web browser. Please make sure that you save every bit of changes that you make. So app.js and index.html. Hope you have saved it. Now let us do some changes in MetaMask. So here we have to do certain settings. So on your web browser, as soon as you download MetaMask and when you install the extension, you can see the small fox icon on the main taskbar. Click on that. This will just pop up, and there's a small circle on the right hand side. Click on that. Go to settings. Now in settings, go to networks. In the network, you have to add the network. Okay. So I told you, right, this MetaMask has to connect your Ganache server. So this is majorly the process to connect your Ganache server. In your Ganache server, this is the IP address, right? Copy paste. RPC server URL. Okay. We have to make some more changes here. So meanwhile, I'll just many people haven't downloaded yesterday, I guess. So please download it. So I'll be adding the URL and I'll be configuring the network by then. So it's a simple process. Go to MetaMask, download it. If you're not getting, please explore. So there is do this only on Google Chrome, okay? Not on any other browser, on Internet Explorer or not on Firefox, only on Google Chrome. Download MetaMask, run it, go to extensions, pin it to taskbar, MetaMask. Okay, I'll just wait. So complete till here.
Excuse me, Supreet sir.
Okay, you are as you saw, so you will read what the code says. So you have to face the consequences.
Supreet sir.
Okay, Bob. You send it and you have to meet, yes.
You can hear me, sir?
Okay. So shall we continue? I hope everyone have completed till here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, one of the participants has messaged that they're not able to download the application in laptop and they're facing some error.
Okay. So let me just try it live here. So go to MetaMask. So download now. It is for Chrome. Install MetaMask for Chrome. Okay. So MetaMask has been successfully downloaded here. I don't think there should be any issue, which is simple extension, Google Chrome. Make sure that open downloading in Google Chrome itself. It's a pretty simple process. There is not much. There's in one.
Yes, Vishal sir, if you can tell what error you're getting, it would be helpful. Yeah, hold on, sir. Yes,
Sir, I just message in a group. The site can't be reached. This error
The
may
site
be.
can't finish.
Yes.
Sir, I think it's your internet, some internet issues or browser issues because live in front of you, I just downloaded it. Maybe
Okay.
so it's a server problem or something. You can try
Okay.
it
Okay.
later. It will happen. It's a
Okay.
straightforward
Okay, sir.
process.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let us quickly proceed. So click on this small circle which is present on the right side. So once you go there, go to settings, networks, add network. So here you have to give a network name and new RPC URL. Let us just go to Ginash. So just give me a minute. It's not opening. I'll just find out. Okay, looks like there is certain network issue here. It's not loading, the button not loading. Oh, so we'll try doing this again. So, we'll keep that aside. We have to add a network information as well. But before that, there is some issue. So, meanwhile, we'll go and import an account. So, how do you import an account? So, you just click on import account. You click on the private key. So, where exactly do you get this private key? You need to go to the Ganache network. This is the private key. Take the first account's private key. Okay. So, this is the entire private key that you have to take. Copy and then paste it. So I've already pasted it and I've already created the account. So once you click on import, so the account will be visible here. So it will show it has 0 ethers. Okay. So this is how it is going to be visible. Now we have to sync this particular ether with our local blockchain network. Oh, I'm facing some issues, network issues here. So just give me 2 minutes. We'll wait for 2 minutes and we'll just cross check again. So everyone, please import the account. Go to import account. Paste your private key string here. just a few minutes. I'll try to figure out what exactly is happening. The server is okay. So let's try to repeat the process again and just check. Let us go to settings. Everyone, please be with me here. Click on the MetaMask, then the small circle here. Go to settings. Go to networks. Add network. So try copy paste the RPC URL. So just copy paste this particular URL in that particular box. Yes, I think it has been connected. So let us just check. So yes, as you can see, our blockchain has been connected, and the Ether. So this particular account's balance is getting reflected here. See, it's getting reflected here. So this is you're going to add multiple accounts, and you can start the blockchain network. So we have reached this stage wherein we have connected to the network, that is our local host. So what is this 127.0.0.1? So this is basically the Ganache network that we have used. So this is the server local address. So it has been successfully connected. If it has not, so basically when you click private key, so where exactly will you get the private key? So you will get the private key here. Okay. Import another account here. Paste in the private key of this one. So can you see here? It has 100 ethers. So the second account has 100 ethers. Okay. So now we have successfully connected our MetaMask to, our back chain. So you can see all the accounts here. So this is the network selection. So these are the accounts. Account 2 has 99 ethers. Account 3 has 100 ethers. So this is completely, our browser is now connected to our local blockchain. So let us move on to the next set of tasks, the last set of tasks that we to complete. Okay. So make sure you have saved everything. So without saving again, it would lead to some serious errors. Let me just check once if I've saved everything. Everyone, please execute the following commands on your command prompt: truffle compile, truffle migrate. So these two set of codes have to be compiled and executed. Now let us on to the console mode again. Truffle console. We did that in the morning. Okay, so there are some issues here. So the main thing is, the modules that we have distributed, one of those modules have been recently changed. It's either today or yesterday, they have changed the modules in the cloud. So we are not able to download one of those modules. So that's the reason we are getting this particular error. It says it cannot find module. So that is the main reason we are getting these issues. It's not we are done with the project actually. We are just in the final process of just running it and compiling it. We'll just take couple more minutes and just check if I can do some alternative and get some alternative library. If that can be done, we will be completing the project in no time. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, so I guess there is some serious error in one of the modules that we have used. So what I'll do is I'll just take some more time. I will figure out a way. Meanwhile, what I can do is I can, create a video on how to execute the last, part of this project, and I can share it with you. I'll try to figure out a solution. I'll find out an alternative module that can be used. Some module is not working here. So yeah, that's it. Coordinator, I tried calling you. Manjunath sir, are you there? Hello. Is the coordinator over there? So the project is complete. So all the instructions have been given. So this is the entire code of the project. Now the only thing is there is one module. If we can find an alternative to that module, this project will be running. So I'll just take some time, probably half an hour time, and I'll figure out a way. So I'll record a complete video of that, and then I'll share it to the coordinator. I think it's already getting delayed. So we are already, I guess, half an hour late. So I don't want to, take some time. Take some more time. So I'll try to figure out a way. I'm trying to reach out to the coordinator. Oh, anyone? Is a coordinator? Oh. Check. Hello, participants. I've just spoken to the coordinator. So there is some server issue, as I told before. I'll be trying to figure out a way. So by today evening, maximum by latest tonight, I'll just create an entire video of how to run it. The entire project is complete. You just need to run this particular project in one of the for packages. So it's actually getting stuck. So I'll create a complete video and I'll share it with you. So you can go through it, execute the complete project. If you have any doubts, you can get in touch with the coordinator and I can help you out again. By today evening or tonight, I'll be sharing the link. It will be shared through the coordinator. Okay, I hope you had a wonderful session. So unfortunately, at the last, we couldn't get the result, but I'll make sure that you get the output in the coming few hours. So thank you all. So if you have any questions, you can ask right now. If not, I'll just end this and I'll work on getting the alternate package.
I don't know whether he is able to understand or not. He's not realizing the situation. At the last moment he is coming and also he is not updated.
Yes, my dear participants, let me start by congratulating you for the successful culmination of the 5-day training program on blockchain and its use cases, which was especially designed to cater to your training needs on blockchain technologies. So the efforts put in by the management of BNMIT and the Department of Information Science and Engineering are definitely appreciable. And I'm confident that this program has provided a very useful platform to all the participants to enrich their knowledge on the latest trends of blockchain technology. So on behalf of the management, I would like to extend my gratitude to all the resource persons involved in this FTP over the past 5 days. The links to the feedbacks as well as the final quiz will be shared to all the participants on the WhatsApp group at the earliest. So therefore, we request for your cooperation on that. And finally, I would like to thank everyone involved in this, and I wish all the participants excellence in their respective fields. Thank you very much. We'll now be concluding the session. Thank you, one and all.